Chapter 2 of Direction and Purpose, Find Your Direction. While it's tempting to believe that our emotional struggles are existentially profound, in fact our sense of meaning mostly comes from satisfaction in work and love. Of course, that's no small thing. Being connected well and making life work in ways that express what is best in you and which meet your deeper desires, well, that's one of the most profound things in life. You certainly learn that when you lack it. For this reason, it's important to define your preferred direction in life and to take action to make that happen. You'll be a far happier person a year from now, and especially 5 years, if you do so with sustained conscious determination, if you do so with daily action. Your direction is the contents of your life. It's what you do in terms of relationships, work, passions, where you live, and so on. This chapter will help you clarify your direction by getting in touch with your deeper desires for these things. Now you're going to want to have your journal, your notebook ready, and we're going to stop and do some reflections as we go. The practical value of clarifying your direction, by clarifying your deeper desires, is that those desires can be formulated into goals. Goals are clear things that you can aim at. And when you have clear goals, then you can create a plan. You can map out how you want your life to look at different stages. This means that as you proceed, you can check if you're on track. So a month from now, you can be looking at how am I going? You can do that a week from now, and you can do it a year from now. And above all, because of that, it means you can take effective action. So two things there: taking action, but making sure that action is effective. It's actually useful action. Now, many people balk when I say this, as though it's unromantic to plan these things, to plan your life. But I'd say, what's wrong with taking your life in hand and making it work? That's courageous, conscious living. And it's surely better than the opposite, which is so common, unconscious living. Living happenstance, in a happenstance way. So while many things, of course, are out of our control, and while much of life is unexpected, and constantly unfolds in unexpected ways, this doesn't mean that you should just give up and drift with the current. The fact is that life is composed of the things in our control and the things that are out of our control, and that most of us would benefit from much more awareness of our deepest desires and from ongoing efforts to shape our life according to them. So focusing on what's in our control and really putting in the effort. So let's get to work on clarifying your direction and then formulating a practical plan to make that happen. Okay, so I said we're going to understand your direction by looking at your desires, and that's what we're going to do now. So take a pen and a paper and go find a quiet place. Press pause if you need to. Find a place where you can do this reflective exercise, which is called a deathbed meditation. That's right, shit just got real. So go find a quiet place, sit down, pause if you need to, and in a moment we'll start this meditation. Okay, so have you found that place now? Let's begin. I want you to sit comfortably so that you don't strain in any way. Now, I want you to pause and then just breathe. And I want you to count your breaths up to 10. So first breath, 1. You could do it on the out breath. Now on the out breath again, the second time, 2, 3. And as you go, start to feel your breath slowing down. Just keep counting the breaths and slow them down. We're just getting into a very reflective state. And now let's begin. So, what I want you to do is I want you to imagine a scene, and I want you to, in your imagination, experience everything that I am describing. Step ahead in time, a short number of decades from now. Maybe it's 3, maybe it's 5. The years roll on, so these decades, they come quickly. And there you are, here you are now, in a hospital room. You're on your own. You've got white sheets. You're in a hospital bed. The curtains are drawn. It's night time. It's a white painted room. There's bright fluorescent lights. The floor is tiled, but very clean, that hospital clean. And beside your bed, a monitor beeps quietly, tracking your heart rate. You are on your back. Your hands are at your side. Imagine your hands are wrinkled from old age. Imagine that you can feel that your breathing is laboured like an old person. You can't feel your feet. You draw your attention to your feet and you can't feel them, but the rest of your body, it feels tired and it feels heavy. You know that you are dying. You know that you have very little time. You're going to die during this night. See your wrinkled face. This is you in old age on your deathbed, and this is your final reflection. As you look over your life, back over those decades, questions float through your mind. You think, if I could go back in time, say if I could go back to 2019, and if I could start again from there, what would I do differently? What do I wish I had done with my life? What would I do differently? What do I wish I had done with my life? Just let these questions float about. Sit with the feeling of them. Float with the feeling of them. Letting anything come to mind, anything just float past your mind in response to those questions. What do I wish I had done now that it is too late and my life is over? What do I wish I had done differently with relationships and love? What do I wish I had done differently with work? What do I wish I had done with my talents and with my passions? Take your time with this. Just sit with these questions, with relationships and love, with work, with passions and talents. What do I wish I had done or done differently? Then you can just slowly return from this reflection. As you're ready, you can pause if you want to sit with this for a couple of minutes. And when you've done that, come back to here and take that journal and take your pen and just start to write down everything that came to mind. If you want, you can divide it into these categories of relationships and love, of work, of passions. But either way, it doesn't matter. It's really just about writing everything down. So pause this and then just take your time and really just write down the things which on your deathbed you realize you really wish you had done.